This CloudFormation template creates a WF WebACL with a default action of allowing requests, a scope of regional, visibility configuration for CloudWatch metrics, and a managed rule group statement to block common threats. For CRUD operations on WF stacks, you can use the AWS CLI or SDKs. Here are the commands. Create a WF WebACL. Bash. Copy code. AWS WAF2 create WebACL. Name my WebACL. Scope regional. Default action. Allow equals. Visibility config. CloudWatch metrics enabled equals true. Metric name equals my WebACL metrics. Rules. Priority equals 1. Rule action equals block equals. Name equals my rule. Statement equals managed rule group statement equals. Name equals AWS managed rules common rule set. Vendor name equals AWS. Read details of a WF WebACL. Bash. Copy code. AWS WAF2 get WebACL. Name my WebACL. Update a WF WebACL. Bash. Copy code. AWS WAF2 update WebACL. Name my WebACL. Scope regional. Default action. Allow equals. Visibility config. CloudWatch metrics enabled equals true. Metric name equals my updated WebACL metrics rules. Priority equals 1. Rule action equals block equals. Name equals my updated rule. Statement equals managed rule group statement equals. Name equals AWS managed rules common rule set. Vendor name equals AWS. Delete a WF WebACL. Bash. Copy code. AWS WAF2 delete WebACL. Name my WebACL. An analogy for managing a WF stack could be likened to securing a building with security guards and protocols. Creating a WF WebACL is like setting up a security protocol for incoming requests to a website, defining rules to allow or block traffic based on predefined conditions. Reading the details of a WF WebACL is akin to inspecting the security measures in place. Updating a WF WebACL is like adjusting security protocols to adapt to changing threats. Deleting a WF WebACL is equivalent to removing security measures when they are no longer needed. This script is a CloudFormation template written in YAML format. It defines a web application firewall, WF, WebACL resource named myWAF WebACL. Let me explain each part of the script. AWS template format version, September 9th, 2010. This line specifies the version of the AWS CloudFormation template format being used. In this case, it indicates the initial version released in September 2010. Resources. This section defines the AWS resources that will be created or managed by the CloudFormation template. myWAF WebACL. This is the logical name of the WF WebACL resource being defined. Type. AWS. WFV2, WebACL, specifies the type of AWS resource to create, which is a WF WebACL in this case. Properties defines the configuration properties for the WF WebACL. Name, myWebACL, specifies the name of the WebACL as myWebACL. Default action defines the default action to take when no rules match. In this case, it allows all requests allow. Scope, regional, specifies the scope of the WebACL. In this case, it's set to regional, meaning it applies to resources in a single AWS region. Visibility config configures visibility settings for the WebACL, such as CloudWatch metrics. CloudWatch metrics enabled. True, enables CloudWatch metrics for the WebACL. Metric name, myWebACL metrics, specifies the name of the CloudWatch metric for the WebACL. Description, my web application firewall, provides a description for the WebACL. Rules, defines the rules associated with the WebACL. Priority, 1, specifies the priority of the rule. Lower numbers indicate higher priority. Rule action, defines the action to take when the rule matches. In this case, it blocks the request, block. Name, my rule, specifies the name of the rule. Statement, defines the condition for the rule. Managed rule group statement specifies that the rule is based on a managed rule group. Name, AWS managed rules common rule set, specifies the name of the managed rule group, AWS Managed Rules Common Rule Set. Vendor name, AWS, specifies the vendor of the managed rule group, in this case, AWS. This CloudFormation script creates a WF Web ACL with specified configuration settings, including the default action, scope, visibility configuration, description, and one rule that blocks requests based on the AWS Managed Rule Group named AWS Managed Rules Common Rule Set.